So Diddy won. Is anybody surprised? Who's surprised? Who thought he was going down? I saw so many videos that were titled, Diddy's Done. I never titled one of my videos that way. I know the law a little bit better than that. Rather, let me just say, I'm a little bit more familiar with the system in the world and how it works, right? So I always remember the joke when when everything first started to go crazy for Diddy. Everybody was like, Diddy missed, no, I don't know if it was everybody that was like, but it was a meme that said Diddy missed 2 measly Illuminati payments and everything goes to the left, right? You know, I know those people, to anybody who said that, I mean, I said that too. I spreaded that. But, so has he caught up on his payments and all of that? But, I said that too. I ain't gonna lie, I said it. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't have the charges sitting in front of me. I could probably find it, but I don't be liking to be searching for stuff while I'm on the camera with y'all because I be done lost my point and, you know, be all over the place. I don't want to take too long. I gotta edit the part out and all of that. But what was the verdict for Diddy? Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty on 2 counts of transporting individuals to engage in prostitution, but acquitted on the more serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and schmex trafficking, according to CNN and ABC News. The jury delivered a mixed verdict after a 10-week trial. He was found not guilty on the racketeering conspiracy charge and the 2 counts of schmex trafficking related to Cassie Ventura and Jane, a pseudonym for another accuser. We know who that is. I mean, right? Everybody knows? Anyway. However, he was found guilty on charges of transporting individuals, including Cassie Ventura and Jane, to engage in prostitution. The judge has denied bail and scheduled a hearing for next week to discuss the sentencing schedule. All right, so they denied bail. Maybe he wanted to get out, you know, tie up a few loose ends. Guess maybe he was trying to get his affairs in order and all that, and they don't trust him. Probably think he going to do something, whatever. But it's an interesting situation. I told everybody, nobody plays fair on either side. You know what I'm saying? So the government know they know they don't play fair. You know what I'm saying? So they not expecting him to play fair. It is what it is. Who is playing fair in these situations when it comes to the law? So that's what it is right now. We don't know exactly how much time he gonna get. That remains to be seen. Now, let me see. Key points of verdict: not counting guilty, transporting individuals. And with the charges, I always felt, no, I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, it sounded crazy, right? You know, I was of the mindset that the baby oil was spiked. It wasn't. Turns out it wasn't. You know, all of the other things, there was a whole bunch of other things swirling around his case that were actually not part of his charges. You understand what I'm saying? And these other things, if I'm Diddy or I'm on his team, I would still be concerned. You know what I mean? Because some of these other things that have been swirling around his name are even worse, in my opinion. Well, maybe, potentially worse. Yeah, worse than even these things. He get out, he need to leave the country. That's what I think. I'm actually of the mindset that, you know, I said this in a previous vlog, like, whether Diddy win this case or not, I feel like they got more smoke coming for him. Pause. I believe, I don't want to wish that on nobody, but it's just all those other things that are swirling around his name, and I just You know, I just don't think them peoples, you know, the feds and all, I don't think they ignore that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I mean, congratulations. You know, I don't want to be, you know, like that. You know, congratulations. I'm not saying that this ain't cause for celebration. Like, if you Diddy or Diddy's family, you should be celebrating. Like, this is serious. Because even though I believe that he was guilty of some of this stuff, you understand what I'm saying? Some of the stuff I feel like is a matter of like, you don't know that this, like one of the first things we should be taught in school, instead of some of the stuff they teach us, is the law. Because some of this stuff we grow up thinking is normal, or we think it's just being men, or whatever, and this, that, and the third. And that shit be against the law, right? When you slap all of those other charges on it and start talking, you know, it seems, you know, like for instance, the whole trafficking for the purpose of schmex working, like ain't nobody look it on a certain, like that technically is a victimless crime, right? You understand what I'm saying? Some people get freaky, you know what I'm saying? You got some professionals at freakiness, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. You hire them, you know, so nobody get caught up in their feelings too much, or whatever your reasoning is, right? On the surface, that's a victimless crime unless the worker is being forced into the situation. And if he feel like, look, I'm paying you, I ain't forcing you in. You know, you got some states where it is legal. So okay, let's just say what you did is is illegal. It crossed the line of legal and illegal, right? Okay, then you're guilty of that. But that's not life in prison guilty. You understand what I'm saying? Like some of the other charges that he, you know, I was never really that familiar with the charges. I mean, it was all over the place. The overall situation, everybody's like, yeah, the nigga freaky and blah 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 blah. I was of the mindset, well, like, okay, but if you do this and this, that is against the law. Like, you didn't know that. Yeah, you think you just being freaky, but you not knowing when you cross a line. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's important. If you don't know you crossing a line, can you or should you be punished by the full extent? You know, like harshly punished. You understand what I'm saying? So I started to see that towards the, you know, towards the you know, when all of the testimony started, I wasn't following the testimony because all I was hearing about was a bunch of freaky deaky business. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like I'm not really into all of that. I don't want to hear all of that, right? But I'm like, if that's all the trial is about, then where's all of this other stuff they talking? You know what I'm saying? Because if that's all this, if I think y'all get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, congratulations. As I said, I think I said that. We'll see what happens with the sentencing and all of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I don't have very much to add to that. I heard people writing in letters trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know, hinder him getting out and all of that. You know, I don't know if that hindered him getting bail, like if it had any effect on his bail hearing or whatever, but I heard that's in the mix or whatever. We'll see what happens at the you know, at his sentencing. Like they said, like for the charges that he is convicted of, right? The charges that he is convicted of, they don't carry, you know, I think they carry a maximum of like something like 10, but I don't think he going, like they not giving him the max for that. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. If you're trying to be a taxpaying citizen of the nation, leave us a super thanks or Cash App. We actually prefer the Cash App, but y'all niggas don't listen. Cash App tag gonna be in the description along with the Bandcamp link, which is there for those of you who would rather hear me rap than hear me yap. All of the mixtapes is there, from Nonviolent Rocco, the most recent one, all the way back to Shell Shock. Go there and get your binge on. That's like 10 mixtapes or something like that. 7, 10, somewhere in there. When writing on the walls, aka leaving comments here, you use your spell checks, not your autocorrects. Your autocorrects will have you typing helter skelter instead of helter skelter, and that's just wrong. Plus, it pisses the president off. You know what I mean? Me. It's monster, not monster. It's an A at the end, not an ER. Helter skelter, it's an AH at the end, not ERs. Oh yeah, Rock has a C and a K. Only ones who get it past is the Crips. You understand what I'm saying? Put a little cuz or cuh in the comments. If not, spell me, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully spell my, or spell it right, or I will delete it. Most important of all, it's BCC, not BBC. Pause. Pause, protesters. Get your ass out of here. The rest of y'all. Welcome to the nation. I am your host, your president, your tour guide, Mr. Monster Man Rocco. I'm the landlord, the owner, tenant, the janitor. I'm out the damn floor. Let's go. I'm one of the realest you ever gon' see. I ain't come here to lie to you. Niggas done with a lie to you. I get Beanie Siegel's first album, or Paul Pierce even, they are the truth. I'm sick and tired of you comical when I'm not in the mood for jokes. You are not a goon, not a shooter or a rider. You shoot off your mouth when you be riding dudes, cock for loot, dude, that's a prostitute.